Everybody knows I came to the United States at the age of 12, gained my citizenship at the age of 17, and I am an elected representative. I look at it as a display of his ignorance, and I see it as a national embarrassment that he continues to say those kind of things.
Really? Because it's something that happens in your community all the time, and it's a national embarrassment. She doesn't actually deny the allegations. She just calls it racist, as always. But according to the Washington Free Beacon, Ilhan Omar did, in fact, marry her brother. This actually did happen. The Beacon reporting this. Ilhan's family wanted to bring her brother over from London in 2002 so he could escape a very bizarre lifestyle that he was leading in England at the time. The Beacon claims Ilhan married her brother to get that job done and get him to the United States. Trump supporter czar Tom Homan joins us now. You said a couple weeks ago that this was being investigated. You were worried about the statute of limitations, wondering if there was any update.
Look, the files are being reviewed. There's a lot of papers, so every piece of paper is going to be verified, and all the information will be checked. Interviews will be conducted. It is an investigation, so we'll see where it goes. But it is being looked at by some very talented investigators.
Yeah. Ilhan is claiming that her son was pulled over by ICE agents, asked to prove his citizenship on his way to a store. Take a listen to this.
He did get pulled over by ICE agents, and once he was able to produce his passport ID, they did let him go.
So your son went to Target last night with his passport.
He always carries it with him.
In case he gets pulled over.
Yes.
She's claiming ICE's racial profiling in Minneapolis. What's your response to that?
Well, look, it's ridiculous. ICE uses reasonable suspicion. They look at a series of articulable facts, and if they get reasonable suspicion, that gives them the authority, legal authority, to detain and question for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it worked exactly as it's supposed to work. You got reasonable suspicion, they made a stop, they talked to him, satisfied that he had legal status, and released him. That happens across the country all the time. That's the way the system is set up. I've stopped U.S. citizens in my career when I had reasonable suspicion that somebody needed to talk to about their alienage, and once you talk to them, okay, you get the information and you're released. Law enforcement does that thousands of times a day across this country. ICE is no different.
Yeah, I got to keep pushing this because it was such an incredible thing that Kristi Noem stated, but she said something like half of the visas in the Somali community, are fraudulent. Where does that investigation start, and where does ICE and your people come into that? Are we getting anywhere with that? I mean, are we going to see tens of thousands of Somali refugees deported out of this country?
Well, we'll see. Look, we've already arrested a lot of them, and as you said, we surged resources up there, and we're going to surge some more up there because there's a big problem. We've arrested those in the country illegally. We arrested those who are out of status, which means they entered the country illegally at one point, then fell out of status. And we're looking at fraud. We're looking at fraud across the board. And we're also looking at vetting those who came in the country and weren't properly vetted and trying to verify, were they properly vetted? If not, can we vet them to be sure that they're not a public safety threat or a national security threat? Yeah. So we're just getting started. I mean, as you said, we already surged resources. Look for that surge to get a lot bigger in the next 2 weeks. We're going to send more agents there and take this on.
But if that's true, if half the visas in that community are fraudulent, that investigation must come from a different area of DHS. But I mean, for her to make that.
Look,
Go ahead.
Look, I don't know about that number. I haven't seen the paper, but I can tell you that. See, all the government, like I've talked about before, citizenship and immigration services, they're at the table. They're involved with visas and people who apply for status here and, citizenship referrals. So they're at the table, too, every day. Every day we have a meeting with all the different agencies from DHS, the DOJ, and we have meetings every day about, what we're doing, how we can do it better, and what more we need to do. So, yes, citizenship and immigration services is a part of that task force.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how that develops, because that was just a major moment in that meeting when she said that. I've got two more quick ones for you before I let you go. The president today saw you there honoring the military for defending the southern border in the Oval Office today. A fantastic job has been done by all. Classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is a great classification for it. It can kill so many people. What does that change?
Look, it puts law enforcement on a serious position on fentanyl. Fentanyl should be a weapon of mass destruction. It's killed, just under the Biden administration, killed 250,000 people. So that's going to give us authority across the world, right? We're going to have other countries participate in helping us. We're going to attack this worldwide. We're just not waiting for this poison to come into the United States. We're going to stop at the border, and we're going to start playing the away game. President Trump's already started when he's taking out boats in the Caribbean.
Right.
It's going to force worldwide pressure in our allies to attack this all over the globe, not just the United States, but we're going to play the away game a lot more, and this designation gives the authority to do that.
Colombia, Mexico, all of these countries that are problematic in addition to Venezuela. I have to get to this before I let you go. The Supreme Court set to hear arguments over birthright citizenship, which is something that's handled so ridiculously in this country. The idea that you can just come here, pop a baby, and you get to stay in, or the child is a citizen. The Wall Street Journal out with a new explosive story. Chinese billionaires are paying surrogates to have multiple babies here in the United States. I mean, a lot of kids. Very wealthy people just sending sperm and, a surrogate, and that's it, getting an egg, and that's it. Many cases without stepping foot in the country ever. Using IVF clinics to do this, they've found this loophole to just get a foothold here in this country. How imperative is it that the Supreme Court make the right decision when it comes to birthright?
It's going to save a lot of lives because it's a major magnet of people making that dangerous journey to come here. And one of the first things they do is have a U.S. citizen child. And look, the Chinese and Russians have been famous for decades on coming over as a tourist, having a child, take the benefits and return to the country with it. Now they have U.S. citizen child that's eligible for benefits. That's been going on for decades, but now that we're attacking that under the Trump administration, now they're trying to shift, their MO, but we're all over this too. Look, the Trump administration is going to force the law. We know these criminal organizations are going to shift their motives. We're on top of it. We're shifting too. So you're going to see a lot more on this in the coming months.
Yeah, wow. Good stuff. Tom Homan, the border czar. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.